I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the pod. I love that you're here. I love doing this. I love my family, my wife, my kid. I love my dog. I'm not sure I love my 2 cats. But don't tell my wife or kid about that. That's just between us. And hey, I'd say I love you, but that could come across as pretty creepy depending on who you are. So let me just tell you, I appreciate you. Now that we've got that settled, I want to talk about the Bible. Now, don't go anywhere yet. This is not going to be a sermon. It may sound like a sermon, but it's not a sermon. Trust me. I specifically want to talk about Genesis and day 6, because that's the day that God created man. And man was created in the image of God. It says it right there in the Bible. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image." See? That's what it says. Now, I'm not a really religious fellow. I'm not even going to tell you whether or not I believe in God, because it doesn't even matter here. What matters is that the Bible says that we're created in the image of God, as if that should come as some surprise or unique revelation to us. It's not, though. Because when you create something, when you create anything, the only option is to create it in your own image. There's no other choice, and God is no exception on this one. Now, let me take a step back. Before I go further, before I start to really annoy you, let me clarify the meaning of the concept "in your own image." And by the way, if you're offended by blasphemy, you're probably angry at me already, but you may not want to listen to the rest of this episode. Just skip to the next episode. Anyway, like I said, let me talk about the meaning of "in your own image," because the term has nothing to do with physical appearance. One's image, including God's, is actually the amalgamation of your ideas, beliefs, emotions, your experiences. All that stuff blends together to form what is you, who you are. As a result, when you create something, whether it's a drawing, a speech, a business presentation, anything you create, it is inherently a byproduct of your thoughts, intentions, your experiences, everything that is about you. So when you create stuff, your only choice is to create it in your own image. And God is no exception. God, being the one who actually created humanity, had no choice but to create mankind based on his or her beliefs, experiences, ideas, thoughts, all that stuff. There's a term, I think it's Latin, imago Dei, that literally means the image of God. Imago Dei. Now, what I'm about to say next may piss you off, especially if you don't like blasphemy, and that's fine. I'm ready for it if you really want to keep listening. You may even consider me a heathen. That's fine too. Honestly, I've been called a lot worse. So now that we got that out of the way, let me get to the point. Leaders are a lot like God. I'm not saying that leaders are God, but for the sake of this conversation we're having, that's the analogy I'm going to run with, whether you like it or not. Because when you are the leader of a company, or heck, when you're even the leader of a team, everything that happens in your company or team is a direct reflection of you. Just as mankind was created in the image of God, everything done on your team is created in the image of the leader. And if you're the leader, it's in the image of you. Imago Dei. You may remember from my previous episodes that my mother's a therapist. She works with children and families. And she always used to tell me that when kids are in therapy, the therapy isn't just about the children. There's actually a secret patient. And the secret patient is the parents. Now, the parents usually don't know that they're a patient. In fact, that's the art of the great therapist. They help treat the parents without them feeling like they're actually the ones being analyzed. This is kind of what I do in my coaching business, and it's probably why a lot of my clients call me a leadership therapist. I help treat business leaders without them realizing that they're the one being helped. Let me explain, because this is super important for you to understand, and it's going to come right back to you in a second. You see, I get hired by leaders to fix the biggest problems in their companies, and it usually comes down to one of four issues: either communication problems, lack of alignment in their team, no accountability, or stagnated growth. Those are the four main issues. And if you're having one of those problems, I'm the fixer you need. As ChatGPT so accurately described me, I'm part Ted Lasso, part Navy SEAL, and part Brene Brown. But here's the thing that always happens, getting back to the companies. When leaders call me to fix their problems, they believe that the problem is poor communication or lack of accountability or one of those other four issues I mentioned. But they're wrong. If you have one of those issues at your company, the issue is not the problem, it's only the symptom. As any doctor will tell you, understanding the symptom will help you diagnose the issue. So what I tend to do is I talk to the team members to try to address the issue, because the leader thinks that their people are the problems that are causing the issue. See, leaders usually believe their team members are the problems that need to be fixed. But like my mother, the therapist, says, the patient isn't always the actual patient. In my case, the ones that need the most fixing aren't always the ones I'm focused on helping. I help the team members be more effective, but the secret patient is always the team leader. Why? Because when you run a company or team, everything is created in the image of you. Imago Dei. Any big problem with your team is a problem that was created because of you. So if you have a team that doesn't hold others accountable, I would bet that their accountability problems are a mirror of yours. Imago Dei. And if transparent communication is a problem on your team, maybe the communication process is the communication problem, or maybe your employees don't know how to be transparent, but either way, those aren't the issue, because their actions are simply mirroring the way you manage communication. Imago Dei. Conway's Law is the concept that all the products or services you deliver at your company are a representation of the strengths and weaknesses of the company's leadership. Your product is created in your image. Repeat after me, Imago Dei. Now, before you point your fingers and blame your team for what's broken, or before you fume in frustration and wonder why they just can't fucking figure it out, don't get miffed at the missed deadline. Don't slam them for their sad strategy. Instead, take a breath and ask yourself, where did they learn that behavior? Because they learned it from someone, somewhere. And as it turns out, if you're their leader, they learned it from watching you. So let's all say this together. Imago Dei. When you lead others, whether it's 5 people or 500, you're not just guiding them, you're creating them. You're shaping how they show up. You're shaping how they communicate and how they lead others in return. And that brings us back to the slightly uncomfortable truth about leadership that I started a couple minutes ago. You are God. But wait, before you start feeling too high and mighty, I didn't say you are the God. You're not the God. I didn't even say you're the only God. That's not true either. And it's important to understand that the people you oversee are also someone else's God. We're all gods. We're all creators. Our behavior always has a powerful influence on the people who look up to us or who follow our lead. Whether it's in the office, in the family, on sports, out with friends, wherever it is, leadership is God. The only question then becomes this. Because you're creating a world in your image, what kind of world are you actually creating? Thanks for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out thebestleadershipnewsletter.com for more and join our community there. Information is down in the comments. I appreciate you, my friend. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.